fine. It's fine. Are we good? Are we? Oh, can we just relax for a second? Take a deep YouTuber record energy. Try
Hang
to
on. Hang on.
manifest.
Let me pray.
This is Atheist Chico. This is
And the atheist mom.
the Atheist Mom. We are reacting to Did Jesus Rise from the Dead? It's a short cartoon, and we're just gonna go through it and see what we can find.
Dude,
Hey, what's up?
what you reading?
The Bible.
Dude.
You reading the Bible?
Yeah.
Dude, why are you reading the Bible? For class?
No, I just.
Okay, so you're just reading the Bible. You're just sitting here in a coffee shop in the 21st century using state-of-the-art technology to read ancient myths for no reason whatsoever.
Well.
Tell me something. Are you one of those super religious people who thinks Jesus actually rose from the dead?
Well, I do believe that.
Do you also believe in the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, unicorns, Bigfoot? Ever been abducted by aliens? And do you buy into all those other ancient myths about dying and rising gods invented by primitive nomadic tribes back in the Bronze Age?
No.
Real quick, already.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can tell this is gonna be. I mean, a Christian made this, and obviously there's already straw manning of the atheist
Yeah.
side, and it's
Viewpoint.
gonna be that way through the whole video. He listed off Santa, unicorns, blah 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 blah. Those are just as unfalsifiable and demonstrable as the God claim. He did mention UFOs, which like aliens.
Is natural.
That's
But that
natural.
wouldn't
That's
be-
more
Yeah, that would
likely
be supernatural. Yeah.
than yeah.
And what struck me was usually they won't mention the other religions because they usually kind of realize that theirs is just as, I won't say wacky because they definitely don't realize that, but as unlikely. But I want to see where he's going because they usually don't bring up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they normally don't even acknowledge it. Like, I mean, even
Yeah,
me as
they
a
avoid
Christian, I knew there were other religions, but I thought they were just kind of like
false idols.
that,
That's
or
what you're
just kind
taught.
of doing their own thing. I'm in my own little yay, which
Yeah.
lo and behold, that I was the one doing. I'm in my own little thing.
Oh.
Okay, so what's the difference between Jesus rising from the dead and all those other fairy tales?
I
Here's
really
the
want to know
difference.
too.
My belief in the resurrection of Jesus is rational. It's based on historical facts.
Facts?
Okay,
Do
What
tell.
facts?
Well, first, Jesus died by crucifixion.
Whoa, hold on. We don't even know if Jesus existed. Why
Correct.
should I believe your facts?
Well, because the 5 facts I'm going to give you are backed by so
Oh,
much
no.
historical evidence
Oh,
that
no.
most professional critical scholars who study the subject accept them as true.
Oh no. I mean, we're kind of getting into an argument from authority if we're not talking about a official consensus.
The argument from authority is so
Yeah,
fallacious. Like,
like this really, smart person believed this, or this person with this degree, and that doesn't matter. Now, it would matter if they were all part of, you know what I mean, the official consensus, because that arguing from that is completely different.
yeah, yeah,
When you're just pulling up smart people that believe what you believe, that's argument from authority.
right. And
But
the the title of the video is "Did Jesus Rise from the Dead?" First of all, you're gonna have to demonstrate Jesus was a real person and existed. We
yeah,
don't have any evidence for the existence of Jesus. No secondhand accounts, no firsthand accounts. There's none. I
right.
personally think he probably was a real dude, but we can't. It's we're so far from removed from it from time, and we don't have any evidence at all.
Right, and I'm a little bit different. I would go a step further to even say there's so little evidence that he could have been based on
Multiple
more
people.
than one
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
one
I think
person.
too.
Or
I'm with that.
or if you look at gods that came before him, like Mithra, for instance, that have very similar stories.
Right,
So
right.
I would even go a step further than probably you. And yeah, I mean, all right, fine. Even if he was a real guy, so what?
Yeah,
Where we're
first you're
talking
gonna.
about the
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, you go ahead.
First, you're gonna have to demonstrate he was a real person, Then you're gonna
Yes.
have to demonstrate uh he did get
Magic.
crucified. You're gonna have to demonstrate
Yeah.
he rose from the dead. And even if he did, you could 100% verify, demonstrate that he rose from the dead. You would still then have to demonstrate how and why.
It's one thing to kind of concede that someone existed, and even if they were crucified, because a lot of people were crucified during that time period. But when you get into supernatural claims, you're gonna need more than a secondhand account of my brother's friend's cousin told him,
Right, right.
that's not evidence of the supernatural. It's not even evidence, like you said, that he even was a real person. But even if we just give it to him, all right, he was a real person. So what? So what?
Yeah, so what?
Now there's a bunch of larger claims than that. I mean, we're talking about magic, like wizardry.
That includes skeptical atheist scholars.
Okay, so Jesus was a guy who actually existed and then got himself killed.
No, we
So
don't know
what?
that.
That's the first fact.
Wait,
Second,
yeah,
his
That's not a fact. Like we just said, we went
yeah.
over. That's not
He
a fact.
he he just kind of leapt to that. Okay, so since these guys said he was a real person, plus he didn't go over. I mean, it would still be an argument from authority, even if he did go over their credentials, like we said earlier. But he just kind of was like, so they said this, so all right, now we know Jesus existed. It's like, whoa, you
I
kind
didn't
of.
see any evidence. Well, these list of scholars, they said so we know. He
Oh
also right
man.
there before I paused it, he said so Jesus got himself killed, which is kind of strange that they would be
Yeah.
honest, but they would probably assert that Jesus got himself killed by other people, but it was actually God killing God. He got himself killed by himself. That was the whole plan the whole time. Moving on,
Yeah.
being nitpicky.
disciples were
No.
convinced that he rose from the dead and appeared to them. Third, Paul, a sworn enemy of the early Christians, suddenly became a Christian.
So what?
Fourth, Jesus' skeptical brother.
Pause. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pause it so soon, but just because someone believes something really, really hard, or they weren't, we see people convert all the time to different religions. I had a client that converted from Christianity to Islam.
Yep.
Just because someone believes something a lot doesn't mean it's true. And I mean, we do have quite a bit of evidence that Paul existed, but even if he did, we still can't verify any of these claims.
Yeah. He was
Well,
actually
we're
the only person that technically we can if we accept that we can verify Paul existed, he's the only one that
I think Paul
technically
existed.
saw Jesus, but it was in a dream.
I'm in a dream. That's not seeing Jesus.
That's like
That's having
has
a
to be the
dream.
weakest evidence ever.
My biggest thing with this is his leap from
And
okay, now we established he existed.
yeah,
It's
it's
like
not really
I'm
well
sorry,
put
where?
together, and it's gonna make us frustrated. But he's just so we've fact we got that one figured, and also fact
James, also became a Christian. And fifth,
irrelevant.
the tomb where they put Jesus' body was empty.
Pause.
Yes,
You
I was
have an
about to say
empty
that.
tomb. I get this all the time in my comments
I
on
do
TikTok.
too. I do
We
too.
we have an empty tomb. I have an empty closet,
We have no, but here's the thing: we have empty tombs today because grave robbing is a thing, and
or they were
especially
never used, or
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it could be several things. Why are we leaping to the supernatural yet again? Why? Why? What's the point of it?
the empty tomb
And
would only work kind of if you could actually verify Jesus was in there to begin with. But
no, but even then, I mean, if someone is professing to be the son of God, you think no, grave robbing was actually, well, I don't know how popular it was, but it was happening. So if you have someone claiming to be the son of God, that's a possibility. You can't rule out all the natural possibilities and just jump to he must have rose from the dead, zombie
the
Jesus.
Bible says it. He did. The Bible never said it was grave robbers. Okay, respect my beliefs. Hey. If I tell you I killed someone, threw someone in my closet, and then 2 days later the body's gone, magic is the answer.
Well, and that's magic is both an answer all and a big
Non-answer,
non-answer.
yeah, has no explanatory
it,
power
it, it, it
whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna try and not pause it when I hear some bullshit, just so I can kind of get through the video.
Okay,
But
all right.
uh, uh, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope for that.
And
Right.
those are well-established historical facts.
Right,
No.
but you can't just leave it there.
No, you.
These facts demand
Hey.
an explanation. Otherwise,
Are we pausing again?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
Just
you're
real,
good.
real quick. Just real quick.
We
I
lasted
don't know
a
if
whole
you ever.
3 seconds.
I don't know if you ever seen The Princess Bride.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I don't think the word fact means what you think it means.
you've got a big hole in human history.
Okay, here's an explanation. They all
You have a big
lied.
hole in your
It was a
story.
conspiracy, the most monumental prank ever perpetrated. His followers stole his corpse from the tomb and then started telling everybody he was
Maybe there
alive.
wasn't a corpse.
That's the
Maybe there
conspiracy
wasn't a
theory.
guy.
The problem is it doesn't explain the facts. How do a few spineless fishermen, cringing in fear for their lives, subdue a bunch of well-armed, professional Roman guards, roll away a 2-ton stone, steal a body, then hide it from a city swarming with people trying to find it?
Magic.
And
duh.
why would they do it? The disciples had
Maybe they
absolutely
bribed the
nothing to
soldiers to
gain
help
by
them
lying
move.
about
Nah, it's
Jesus'
magic.
resurrection. In fact, they
okay,
were
Beat 'em with magic.
persecuted.
But-
And we have good historical evidence that 5 of them were martyred because of their claim that Jesus rose from the dead. Apparently, not
So?
a single one of them ever recanted. People don't willingly die for something they know isn't true. They were there.
Pause. I'm sorry. No, I gotta pause this right now.
That is the biggest lie ever told.
and it
One of
and
the
it
biggest.
makes me really, really, really upset for the purpose that not even 20 years ago, people flew planes into buildings
Right.
because they really, really, really believe something that this guy would say isn't true.
Right. And
And
the people wouldn't willingly die for a lie. Yeah, they would.
yeah, they would.
People do that all the time.
That's just his opinion. Like I said, I don't think he knows what fact means. That's just him assuming things, making assertions. Just he's trying to make it make sense without actually pulling any evidence, any facts, or anything. He's just trying to fill in those gaps. He's trying to lead the evidence, instead
Yeah.
of follow it. Like, people die all the time for things that aren't true. And then the perfect example is 9/11, because those guys
Right.
really,
Or
really
even
believe that.
more of a personal example.
Yeah.
There's a militia coming after Tam, and they're looking for her kids, and they're gonna kill her. She knows exactly where the kids are. She's gonna lie
hmm
for her belief to keep her kids safe.
It's so weak.
It's
It's just
it's absurd.
it's him, it's him trying to make sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. It doesn't make it doesn't it's just false. It's not true. People die
Right.
for what they believe, whether it's true and they know it's true, or whether it's a lie and they know it's a lie.
Right.
People will die for it.
They knew whether it was true or not.
All right, another theory. The disciples thought they saw Jesus alive after he died, but it was just wishful thinking. They were
That's
stressed
possible.
and just kind of
Very possible.
hallucinating.
That's
The
very
hallucination
possible.
theory
They-
also lacks explanatory power. 500
Talk about explanatory power. Magic did it.
witnesses saw Jesus at the same time, and the disciples touched him.
Name them.
Psychologists have shown that hallucinations don't work like that. Nor does this explain the empty tomb.
Okay, look, maybe there's some
Pause.
other.
Okay, I swear, I'm sorry. I'm so
Psychologists.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We have a claim of 500 witnesses. We don't know who they are.
We don't-
None of them have been verified. Not one.
I believe we don't even know who claimed
No, we don't
claim
even
of
know who
500.
claimed. No, it's thought to be Paul, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Because these are secondhand accounts of hearsay,
Yeah.
so we don't know. But I do want to point that out. He's claiming it as fact that there was 500 witnesses, when that is so far from just a fact. There's a
Right.
claim, and so that
We have 5,000 witnesses. I think the number is 5,000 for Jesus turning fishes and loaves into more than just, what was it, 5 and 3 or something. Why don't we have anything? Is the ancient world that illiterate that 5,000 people didn't say anything? And he did it on like 2 or 3 different occasions. Where are all these people? I'm
Not
just
one
having
name.
claims of people.
But the bottom line is dead people stay dead. Rising from the dead would be a supernatural event, a
Yeah,
miracle.
yeah, I would.
And science has proven that miracles don't happen.
Oh, really? When did that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a straw man. We didn't prove. We can't.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what a miracle looks like. We only have assertions of miracles. We don't.
Define a miracle. I mean,
Yeah, and then when you show me a miracle, get rid of every other possible explanation to where
yes.
that one is the most likely. Not the absolute one, but the most likely. I would accept that. Where is that? I have not seen it yet.
I just kind of heard it somewhere.
Science has not disproven miracles. In fact, that would be impossible.
Why?
Science deals exclusively with natural phenomena, physical matter and material processes, right?
Yeah.
But a miracle, by definition, is not a natural phenomenon. It's supernatural. So a supernatural event would lie outside the bounds.
Logic, ethics, mathematics, aesthetics are outside of natural phenomena. Mathematics is like a concept that we came up with. So if you're saying supernatural is a concept, I agree. It is a concept. It is an idea.
That's how we have examples of these supernatural. It is a natural, and even when we go to morality, that can still be demonstrated. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and explain the whole entire thing, but through evolution for survival, it can be demonstrated in the natural world, which is all we know.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about any type of supernatural.
It almost needs to be like science in a circle, logic, ethics, and mathematics in another outsider circle, and then supernatural way the fuck out there.
Boundaries of science. It's logically impossible for science to throw out any hypothesis that lies outside its boundaries.
Why have I never heard this stuff before?
I don't know. Maybe because it's scary?
Scary.
Yeah. As long as Jesus rising from the dead is just a fairy tale, like Santa Claus and unicorns, it doesn't threaten my little world. But if it's a fact, if he actually did rise from the dead, that's huge. It's a total
Yeah.
game changer. And that's why it's so hard to think about it objectively.
Whoa.
If Jesus actually did that and that's real, it's immoral. Someone,
Yeah.
a god, is mad at us for
Yeah.
sinning, but he knew we were gonna sin. He put a tree and a serpent in in a garden, knowing full well what was gonna happen. Had us go through all
He
of this,
did
gonna
it
blame
anyway.
it on us.
And make us kill his son. Let's not forget that,
Right.
because that's in the
And
plan. That's why
then
we have.
after he chops his own arm off, Jesus, only to grow it
Yeah.
back again, some sacrifice, he says, if you don't accept me for chopping my own arm off for you and then it growing back and I'm totally fine, except for maybe a couple holes in my hand, I'm going to burn you in hell or separate you for eternity, whatever version of hell you believe. It's like,
That's why we.
what? This is
That's why
so immoral.
Well, the whole concept of original sin is immoral. And that's why we have in the well-grounded problem in philosophy known as the problem of evil, and the argument of free will. You can't have a God that's all loving, all powerful, all knowing.
There's no room for free will. You can't choose something else other than what God already knows you're going to choose. It's set in
which
stone. There's no other
which,
options for you to pick because he already knows what you're going to pick.
which makes him immoral.
Yes. That's why I look at Calvinists, I'm like, yeah, you got the free will down, but why are you still what? That's fucked. That's really
It's
Ay.
really messed up when you break it down.
It's so backward and convoluted and confusing, even though God's not the author of confusion.
Yeah.
Why not just forgive? Why the I have a
Fire God's
clone
plan.
of myself that it's actually me, but
It's
it's a
part of the plan.
but then I had to kill myself to
It's
myself,
a test.
and then, but I'm testing them, but I'm all knowing, so I know their test answers already, so it's kind of stupid if I test them. Like I just,
What kills me is in Job, where he that used to be my favorite book, and now looking back, it's so grotesque.
oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
then he say then he has Satan, test him. Like, hey, you want? It's almost like, hey, you want to play with my toy?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so gross. But
If this God is real and the Christians are actually correct, I will happily go to hell with,
yeah,
honestly, probably the majority of more moral people, because there's a whole bunch of, I mean, think about the amount of psychopaths that are just completely evil, but at the end of their life they go, all right, I accept Jesus.
exactly.
They're up there in heaven. They're up there
And
in heaven. I'm gonna hang out with Einstein and Tam
that's
and whomever else.
and I get told this often. You probably do too. There's gonna be a lot of good people in hell, and a lot of bad people in heaven. It's like, then why are you in the religion?
Yeah, it's not.
What does that say about you?
I thought God was just. Why is? Oh
Yeah.
well, you just have
Why?
to.
Why?
You just have to be gullible and accept this fairy tale of Jesus, this immoral blood sacrifice. I don't understand it. The,
I don't
the
understand the
religion
blood sacrifices.
fundamentally is a blood sacrifice cult. Why? Why blood sacrifice? From the
I
Old
don't.
Testament being in animals, and now the New Testament an actual human.
What are your final thoughts on this?
There's a few fallacies I want to go over. Straw manning fallacy. Most
A
of the
few.
arguments from the I want to call them the atheist side,
Oh,
all
he's
straw
straw
man.
man like
All straw
crazy.
mans. Argument from authority, there's God of the gaps. Argument from personal incredulity. We
Yeah.
don't know how else it would happen, even though you haven't even demonstrated that it happened. Argument from ad populum, just because of
Yeah, because
the
the
group of the
500
list
witnesses.
and the 500 witnesses. With his logic, I should be able to say, I have over 500 UFO eyewitnesses. Therefore,
Actually, there are millions of
yeah,
one man.
therefore,
There's
little
thousands
green
of
men and
UFO.
UFO things exist. Like,
And at least we can go talk to those
yeah,
people.
we can talk to them. We get the first and last name of pretty much every individual, if
And
we
all
wanted.
their stories are similar.
Right,
The
right.
the shape of the alien, the shape of the ship. So using that logic, he best believe in aliens if he doesn't want to be intellectually dishonest. We don't have any names. We just it just says, well, there was 500 witnesses. I don't know, who they were, but they were there.
Yeah,
How many fallacies can you commit in 4 minutes?
yeah,
A lot, apparently. Final thoughts from me is just he labeled facts that are just not facts. They are assumptions and lots of logical fallacies. I mean, it was fun to watch. I
yeah.
think. It was so frustrating.
These are all not demonstrable claims, and they have a burden of proof that they still have to meet.
They've
It's
had a long
crazy
time to
because
do it
I
too.
would have I think I've even seen this as a Christian, if I remember correctly, and I totally agreed with the Christian at the time. Just totally eating
Mm,
up his words. Yep, yep, sounds good to
yeah.
me. Sounds good to me. And then when you step back and you view the whole Bible, even if that was true and how immoral, like what we've kind of already talked over, it's just like,
Yeah.
wow, I really thought that way.
More people just need to learn critical thinking.
Yeah,
Well, I guess even, but indoctrination, Chico, is a powerful thing.
it is so
It's
powerful,
so powerful
so
because even if
toxic.
you know you can, even if you know critical thinking, I was just about to catch myself. If you are indoctrinated, you can use the critical thinking for evil.
Yeah,
So this has been the Atheist Mom, Tam, and
Chico, atheist Chico, and thank you
all
so
right.
much for watching.
Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, subscribe either way though.
And I was gonna say something funny, but I can't think of anything funny. Yeah. Maybe God will come back and clear everything up for us.
I mean, it's about time for
It's been a while. He
for
did,
version
but
3.
he did
Where's
say he did say he was
where's
coming back soon, right? So
hasn't soon been for like the past like 2,000 years?
define soon. Like it's
Divine
20 minutes from now, a day, 2,000 years.